La la la, hey, hey, yeah, yeah.
Welcome back to Daytime here on Rogers TV. Well, our next guest is following in his uncle's footsteps to climb the highest mountain in North America and, of course, to do some fundraising along the way. We are joined today by Dan Hopkins, Climb for Life team leader. Welcome to the show.
Hi,
It's
Dan.
great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So first of all, tell us, your uncle was your inspiration to do this climb. Tell us about this story of your uncle.
Yeah, well, back when I was a kid, way back, 13 years old, I had the opportunity to go out to Alaska and the Yukon myself and do a wonderful trip in the interior there. A couple years later, I was at home in England visiting family, and I discovered that I was related to this guy who was the Archdeacon of the Yukon. So generations later, I had, visited the same lands that he had been on.
Right.
So he did a lot of great work up there. I started to research his life and find out what he was about and what he did, and he did a lot of awesome work with the native populations up there.
Wasn't he also the very first person to climb Mount Denali?
Yeah. Well, that's when I started researching his life. I found that out. I discovered he led the first expedition up Denali in 1913, and Denali is considered still today one of the coldest and most treacherous mountains out there.
Yeah, let's talk about the mountain itself, because it is a very unique mountain to climb. What sets it apart from other ones?
Well, it's the amount of gear that you've got to bring in there. First off, it's one of the coldest in the world, and you've got to be self-sufficient. There's no Sherpas. You go in there, everything you have is your lifeline. So you bring everything you can with you, and hence all of this stuff that we go up there with. So it's really unique in that way, and it's a very unpredictable mountain in its location in Alaska. The weather comes in off of the Arctic Sea, and you just get hammered, and stuff like that.
You mentioned that your uncle did some wonderful things for the people in the area as well. And wasn't there a story behind the fact of it being Denali, and it was named at one point McKinley as well, Mount McKinley? But he fought to keep it Denali, didn't he?
Yeah, he's really been, his life was dedicated to the people up north, and primarily preserving language and culture. When he had his eye on Denali, its native Athabascan name is called the Great One, and they spiritually looked at it as a big spiritual power. So it got its name McKinley from an American surveyor who was up there. Now my uncle was adamant that it stick to its name.
Right.
His book Ascent of Denali, which he wrote a couple of years after climbing the mountain, he makes it clear right at the beginning of the book. He really recognized the value and richness of the native culture, and you can see it in all of his work and read about it in his
Tried
past.
to keep the spirit of the mountain alive, as opposed to necessarily a political name that was given for somebody, geographically. Right?
Let's talk about the title of the climb. You're calling it the Climb for Life.
Climb for
Why
Life.
have you chosen that title?
Oh, we came up with Climb for Life about a year ago, and we wanted to extend a little bit about what he did up there, and Climb for Life is really about helping kids reach new elevations. It's not particularly just about climbing. Every year we hold events we plan that we're going to hold events every year that's going to empower youth. This climb that we're doing is focusing on child nutrition and youth empowerment within Canada. So you can go right on to climbforlife.ca. You can read all about the trip, what we're doing, and you can actually donate right online. 100% of the money that we are raising is going right up to the kids. We're hooked up with partnered charities up north. Food First Foundation is Northwest Territories in Nunavut. And we're also Yukon Food for Learning. So all the money we raise is going right up there.
Yeah, nothing is going towards the climb, right?
Nothing
it's
to
all
the climb.
Going to the children.
They have the infrastructure up there to make sure that it's getting to the problem communities. And there are a lot of problems up there.
And you're also accepting silent auction donations, any way that
we
people
have a main charity event that's being running at the Royal Oak on Wellington. And that day it's going to be a really fun day. We've got a barbecue going all day, a silent auction. auction. You can view our auction items online before you actually go to the event. We've got bands running all day.
Great.
Ottawa's Tim Panic and stuff like that. So it's very quite a lot of fun.
And I noticed you've got what looks like a cutout of a mountain over
Yeah.
here. What's this?
These are miniature mountains that we'll be selling around the city
Okay.
to local businesses, schools, whoever can get them up on their walls. It's $1 or $2. You actually go in, purchase them, write your name. You can write a message on it. They'll go up on the walls in the businesses that we can get them up. At the end of that, we're going to be collecting them all and sending them right up to Yellowknife so she can have a view of what they're about. You can pick up, if you want to get involved, you can pick up packages, which will have mountains and all of that, in all the PC Cyber locations across the city.
Great.
So they're on board.
There's lots of ways that everyone
Yeah, you can
get involved.
contact
That's
us
perfect.
online if your school thinks that they want to get involved in some of this, and yeah,
Good.
so a lot of good
Well,
food.
I want to get Derek involved in some of this.
You want the
because-
equipment on me, don't you?
Well, I mean, you've brought some fantastic stuff to give us sort of an
Just
idea.
a general idea.
General idea
Yeah.
of what it is that you have to cart up the mountain
Yeah,
with you.
just to get Derek a general
so I'm
feel
going
of
to
what we
switch
have.
sides with you so that you
Okay,
can
okay.
explain. How's that sound?
All right,
Yeah.
Okay.
let's do it.
All right.
Well, quickly, I won't throw these on you, but I just brought them so
Yeah,
you
you
can
probably
see.
shouldn't walk around the
It's a
studio.
pretty
Yeah.
it's a pretty treacherous mountain, so you need things to keep you to the ice and
Right.
snow so you don't fall off. So these come in handy while you're up there.
Right.
Coldest mountain in the world. So I'll get you to throw this on, Derek.
right.
That looks like a very nice and warm.
Oh my goodness.
Don't
Oh,
worry
yeah.
about zipping it up.
Okay.
It's-
All right. Let me get my mic out of here before audio starts freaking out.
So that's
Okay.
you don't want your fingers falling off. Now we have a layer that goes below that pops it on. Obviously you got to. We'll skip the hat. I don't.
Skip the
wanna-
hat. Yeah, we don't want to mess his
Don't worry about
perfect
the
hairstyle.
Yeah, and.
And this is what he would be pulling behind
Now,
him.
all of our gear, all of our food, everything that we need, we have to bring in. So, hence the sled, and we tug this around through the majority of the mountain.
How heavy would that be?
That could be anywhere from 40 to 80 pounds just on
Wow.
a sled, which you have attached to your waist. It'll be going in.
You'd
And
be pulling that up the
back
mountain.
here,
Oh,
I'll get you to get a feel. This can be anywhere from 50 to 80 pounds as well. So you'd be.
holy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what? Derek is going to topple over backwards with that on. Thank you so much for coming down. We really appreciate it, and all the best to you on your climb.
Oh, thank
we
you
want to
so
remind
much.
you can go to climbforlife.ca for all the information. Be right back after this.
I'm ready, Dan. Let's do it, buddy.
Sessions for this program are provided by the Bay Rito. The Bay Rito, featuring the exclusive Bioline. www.thebay.com.
I'm Ed Hand, and this is What's Worth Noting. Ever wanted to see what's in a